Hello my dear students, welcome back to online class. Today I am going to start a new chapter from your NCERT book Science, chapter number 9, that is the living organisms and their surroundings. In this chapter you will be known to some concept about living organisms with their surroundings. You will learn about living organisms, their characteristics, environment components, different types of habitats, organisms, adaptation in different habitat, what is adaptation. Then you will also know the different region in the world have various types of living creatures, that is known as organisms, and what are the various characteristics of the organisms. Okay, and even our common facts in our life. Okay, so let's start with that. So first, as introduction, I will tell that different regions in the world have various type of living creatures are called organisms. Okay, even the opening of volcanoes have teeny living organisms, and this chapter also acquaints you with everything that we see surrounding us, that is living, non-living, physical, chemical, that is all around us, that is the environment. So everything that we see surrounding us, like living, non-living, physical, chemical, these all are including our environment. Okay, so can you list some tiny organisms which you have encountered at home? They may be very small, that cannot be seen by our naked eyes. They are very small, that's why they can be visible under uh, a microscope. Okay, so that's why these organisms are known as microscopic, means they cannot be seen by us by our naked eyes. Okay, now can you say what are the characteristics of living organisms? I know you can say. Now let's see what are the main characteristics. As you know that living organisms require food to grow and carry out life processes. Life processes means everything. We are intaking food, that is digestion, then respiration, circulation, then also excretion. These all are coming under our life processes. Okay, and living organisms, they grow in size. That is the main characteristics of living organisms. And all living organisms breathe and respire. These are also coming under our life processes, that's breathing, respiration, process of generating energy. By this process they are generating energy which are used by us for do any work. Then they respond to stimuli, any stimuli, that is any change in environment, just like environmental condition like temperature, increase in temperature, decrease in temperature. Okay, and they carry out reproduction, that producing next generation, and excretion. Okay, that is elimination of waste from body, and movement is shown by living organisms. Okay, so these are all characteristics of living organisms. We have seen that. Now, organisms and the surrounding, where they live. Here the table shows some common organisms and their place to live. Here you can see table here given organisms and where they live, just like camels. You can see here camels, where they live in desert, and then yak, they actually used to live in mountains. Then crabs, they are actually marine animals, such as that's why they are living in sea. Then ants, various locations. Okay, now that particular region where an organism lives, that is termed as its habitat. So what is habitat? Is it clear to you? Means the region or the place where an organism lives is termed as its habitat. Now, what does a habitat provide? Habitat provides an organism everything it needs to survive, like food, shelter, proper weather conditions such as rainfall, heat, to breed and flourish. Okay, for their growth and development. Okay, also to continue their generation. Next, here you can see that habitat. Actually, there are mainly two components of habitat. One is biotic components, another is abiotic components. Now, what is biotic components? Biotic components means the components which are living. Okay, means the living components of our ecosystem. These are all biotic components, that such as plants, animals, and microorganisms, means very small organisms around us. These all are comes under biotic components. Now comes to abiotic components. What is abiotic components? Abiotic components means the non-living components of the ecosystem like soil, water, then air, light, temperature. This all comes under abiotic components. So now can you say what is the basic difference between biotic and abiotic components? Biotic components are living beings and abiotic components are non-living beings which are already present, which are very essential to be present in a habitat. Okay. Now, as you know, and there is a proper interaction between these two factors, means biotic and abiotic components. There should be a interaction between them. Without interaction of biotic and abiotic components, organisms cannot live. Organisms do not live in isolation, but they are interdependent. Means we are under biotic components, but we cannot live without abiotic components. That is the interdependency of two components, that is biotic and abiotic components. Okay. So living organisms, these are objects which need water, air, nutrients for their survival. The non-living organisms with objects which do not need water, air, nutrients for their survival, but they are interdependent on each other. Now, what are the main function of those abiotic factors, just like light, temperature, water? As you know that sunlight is very essential for survival of biotic components, as the sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living things, and sunlight affects growth, flowering, seed germination, and in many other ways in plants. Without sunlight, or without sunlight, plant cannot prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Then also light also affects animals living in caves or burrows, which where sunlight cannot reach. They have very much reduced eyes. Okay. And then in nocturnal animal means the animals which are active at night, like bats, cockroach, or owl. They are active during night. Okay. And then temperature is also regulating growth, movement, reproduction, morphology, and other aspects of our life. And animals living in hot areas such as snakes, desert rats, lizards are not able to get sufficient water. They have thick skin and do not sweat. Okay. And due to such temperature, just like desert animals, camels have long legs. Long legs helps them to lift their body above the ground. Thus, they are able to avoid direct contact with the hot ground. So, these all factors, biotic and abiotic factors, they are interdependent on each other. So, here you can see another slide, interaction of biotic and abiotic components. Organisms do not live in isolation but are interdependent. Means they are always dependent on abiotic things also. Okay. So here you can see plants, herbs, trees. There are various types of plants, and they are dependent on climatic factors such as light, air, temperature, water for their growth and development. Then animals like large animals, tiger, cow, horse. Small animals are the insects. They are also dependent on the climate factors and soil factors like soil nutrients, soil texture. From soil they are getting their nutrients. Also plants are here also interdependent on soil, because the important or essential minerals they are getting from the soil. Okay. So the all factors, plants, climatic factors, animals, soil factors, these all are here. Climatic factors and soil factors are abiotic factors, but here plants and animals are biotic factors. How they are interdependent to each other, here you can see the arrow. In every aspect they are interdependent in each other, with each other. Okay, so I hope you understood this, the basic of this chapter, and in the next class I will describe what are the habitats, different types of habitats, and how in different habitats different organisms adapted their life. Okay, I hope you understood this. If you have any problem, ask me in the e-portal.